Ho, ho, ho!
Ho, ho, ho!
Oh, what'd you call me? How are you doing, Matt?
I'm good.
Oh.
I'm good. I'm better. Thank you so much.
Oh, we missed all of you last week. Matt has been through hell and back.
It's been really rough. But so basically, I ended up getting tonsillitis. I had inflamed glands. I had a chest infection. I lost my voice. It's still not fully there. I'm sure you can hear, but it's look. All I was thinking about was that I must get better because there is a buttload of content for this podcast to get out, and I'm not saying no to this. We've got to do it because it's Christmas time. We've got to deliver on Christmas time. We will deliver on Christmas.
Oh yes, just like Santa Claus, we will deliver on time. Also, there's loads of news that we need to talk about.
Loads.
There's been circulating on social media since we did the last podcast.
I mean, it's kicked off for DC, hasn't it?
It is kicking off. So we're speaking about DC. We'll be speaking about the plans for the next couple of weeks during Christmas. But most importantly, we'll be speaking about Nativity.
Have you seen Nativity, Cheech? The film Nativity? Sparkle and shine. Yeah, she knows it.
Yeah, T.
Do you like it? Do you think you could sing the song? Go on, go say sparkle and shine. Go on. Ah, okay. She got shy. Sparkle and shy. That's what she is.
Sparkle and shy. Look at
Sparkle and
that.
shy.
That's why they need to pay you the big bucks, mate.
That's true.
You can write the theme song, sing the theme song.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be beautiful.
What we do need to talk about also is how absolutely horrendous your Santa hat is.
Okay. Yes. Let's conquer that. I picked this hat up. I can't remember when I got it, where we got it. It was on the dining room table, and I thought, you know what? It's the first of the proper festive podcast after Matt's failure with the Spider-Verse. So
I still can go away.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Popped out my ear.
Fantastic. We're on. We're on form. Yes, so I picked it up, chucked it on my head, and it quickly became apparent that this is the worst Santa hat I've ever possessed. This is like not even Poundland could create material that looks this cheap.
Sorry, she just declared it's raining. I tried to mute her just before she said it, but she's just declared, yes, it is raining, sweetheart. Okay, so your Santa hat looks like if Tesco created a shopping bag made out of just completely red and white top, and you shoved it on the back of your top of your head. That's what it looked like. It also looks like the tip of a red condom, and it also looks like, like I said, an elf on a shelf like fell on the top of your head.
Yeah.
Those are the best three descriptions I can give you.
That is, you can't get much better than that. It's god awful. Like this white bit is much longer than it needs to be. So if I actually put it on like a hat, look, I literally look like I'm wearing a condom. That is just, I'm about to walk into a bank, steal their money, and feature on some really shoddy shit CCTV. That's
literally.
No one knows who I am.
Literally.
Give me all you've got.
You are stretching out that Santa hat. It's like it's meant for a kid.
It probably. Let's be honest. Maybe
you look like Santa's sperm. So
Look
good.
at this. Ho, ho, ho me up. Have a merry, happy Christmas. That is... I've never looked so fetching.
Oh my God, Forrest, mate.
Oh, right.
you're
So,
killing
yeah.
me.
So, we've done... So, yeah, festivities. Let the Christmas festivities begin. We, quickly to say with the hat, you know, the more you listen, lovely listeners, the more revenue we'll get. So, that, you know...
That's true.
We're going to be completely honest. We don't have adverts for no reason whatsoever. We have them so that we can claw back some pennies.
Next Christmas, what we want is Forrest to be in a genuine Santa outfit, like straight from Norway. That kind of thing.
That's the kind of useful thing that we want to use our money for.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not going back in our banks. It's purely to entertain you, listeners.
Absolutely.
And that's all you want, right? So there you go. Oh, Thea's back.
Thea's back.
Right.
The little terrors are scheming. What are you scheming?
Oh, hello.
Hayley's on her knees. I know. Why are you on your knees?
Okay, it's going.
Okay.
Here we go.
Thea's on the table like a cat.
Within seconds, you're about to lose your internet. That's what I feel like is going to happen.
She's going to pull it, isn't she? She's just going
Your
to
whole laptop's just going to finish.
pull it out. Very quickly, come say hello to Forrest. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, Hayley.
Very good.
Hello.
Very good. Well, Thea, do you know what's about to happen? Forrest, have you seen... Actually, Hayley, come on this. You're older and more eloquent. You're more articulate. Okay, Hayley, have you seen Nativity the movie? Sparkle and Shine film.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
What do you like about the movie?
Well, it's like when... What is it?
What's your favourite bit about that film?
Yeah, when the little boy goes...
Oh, yeah. Make yourself all dance all night. That kid. The reluctant kid in the star hat, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, he does say it's a girl's costume.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. And I know exactly who you're on about now, because that is one of my favourite lines in the entire film. When he is dressed as... I can't remember what reference they actually use in the film, but it looks like Pat Butcher is like doing Christmas. And then he goes, I can't wear that. That's a girl's outfit. And then they have to point out, look at the outfit you're currently wearing, mate. Is that the same kid you're on about? Oh, well.
Literally just put a butt in my face. Right, before this descends into any more chaos, Forrest, hit me up with that synopsis, my friend.
I will do.
Hit me with it.
Here we go. A British school teacher must find a way to bring his former lover, a Hollywood producer, back to London to film his class's nativity play. And normally, at the end of that summary, Matt is straight on it. Currently, Matt has disappeared completely from the screen. He's just re-emerged. He probably didn't hear any of that synopsis. And he's back.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Well done.
Honestly, you just like the minute I finished there, you just cut in. That was magic.
Sounded great. I love the part where you said Iron Man comes in at the end.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Brilliant stuff.
That's good. So, Nativity. What are general thoughts, Matt? Hit me up.
Okay, so this is a bit of it's become a cult hit, effectively, in the UK. For Christmas, it's essential viewing. If you are living in the UK, from the UK, and you have a Christmas list of movies, Nativity, the first one, is most likely on that list. And I love it. It's so good for so many reasons. Not for the fact that it is just a good Christmas movie. It also hits a lot of points that I resonate with from a professional standpoint and from teaching young people in shows and all that kind of thing that I can sort of very much relate to. But yeah, I think, again, you know, we have quite a few international listeners here. So if you haven't watched it and you're going to listen to this pod, do go and watch it first, seriously. Because you've got to, because it is really a genuine an experience when you watch it. and it is a really wonderful, true depiction of the primary school system in a way. I say true depiction to a certain extent, but like there is, you know, in terms of the way it's encapsulating just British culture in schools and in shows. Yeah, it's great. It's brilliant, mate.
Fantastic. Yeah, it is fantastic. Yeah, and like you say, international listeners absolutely go and watch it. It's hilarious. I think from the off, one of the things I know about this film. It's been written and directed by Debbie Izzet. And basically Debbie
Is it? Oh God, literally, I was like, don't do it, because that's obvious, and I bet she's had that done to her so many times.
Oh yeah,
but it fell out. There you go.
She'll listen to the first 5 minutes of this podcast.
Of course she will,
and she'll hear you,
Debbie.
And she'll go,
D-Dog, what's up, D-Dog? Merry Christmas.
Wow, if anything, you've made yourself more like a pillock.
Yeah,
that did absolutely nothing to her.
It added nothing. It gave nothing. If anything, it added confusion in my already delirious, medicated self. But anyway, carry on.
Debbie does so quite a lot of her Christmas films, because she does Christmas films all over the place, and she makes sure that some of the Christmas films are always improvised. So so for me, one of the first things before you talk about the film, you have to talk about the fact, and I'm moving my hat all over the place. Try and make this remotely stylish. There you go. That brings a bit of style. That's brilliant. That's it. Now look, I've got a nappy in my head. But it is one of the best things about this film is that it is improvised. So Debbie filmed, I believe, is somewhere around the region of 500. No, I'm getting confused because I saw this fact, but recently I've also seen a very similar fact in regards to Avatar. You know, the new Avatar that's come out.
The Way of Water, yeah.
So literally, it was about how many hours Debbie filmed Nativity, but in my head I keep going to the... hang on, let me just refine this fact, because it is worth finding it. Here you go. So Debbie filmed 120 hours worth of footage. And then condense that into what Nativity is. And because so much footage was purely improvised. So she would put the kids with the likes of Martin Freeman and say, here's the theme, and then they would improvise around it. Now, one of the things I think makes this film so funny and so British is the fact that that there's such a high level of improvisation in it. So actually the kids, and you see some of the scenes where there is absolute corpsing going on in the scene. It's just filmed in a really good way where you can't big shout out instantly to Mark Wooten, who is Mr. Poppy. Because he's a complete genius. It's a complete genius character. Yeah, and you can see the amount of improv in his part is insane. And the kids just love it. And I think because of that, so because of the improvisation, but also because of naturally what that does on set is bring a natural kind of authenticity, kind of natural rapport where they all kind of get on, and you can really see that. For a Christmas film, it just makes it so much happier, so much more thrilling, exciting to watch. I just think this is definitely high up there on my top Christmas films for sure.
100%. And going back to Mr. Poppy as well, and what he does so well is that he brings the best out of the kids in this movie. So from a standpoint of the fact that when you've got a character like that, and quite clearly an actor like that, who was just going to have fun, who's just going to be silly, be engaging, be entertaining for the children as well when they're in those scenes. That's going to relax those kids, because the last thing you want is to kids to get up, say those lines, to know what those, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to do this and don't look at the camera, and then there's all these things that these kids as actors are going to really struggle to get with, and they lose the authenticity out of them, out their own performance. So it's quite clear that this, what he did so well is that he brought this culture of relaxation, fun, joyfulness, and brought these brilliant moments with these kids as well. Some of the scenes that he has with the kids are just so funny, so just genuinely heartwarming, hilarious at the same time. He does an impeccable job as an improviser as well.
Absolutely hilarious. And I think Mark and Martin together are very good at. They cast those two very well.
They balance each other out brilliantly.
Yeah, very well. And to be honest, I'd like to see those two in another film, like a different kind of a film, just because I think as actors they work really well together. Yeah. I thought that was brilliant. With the improvisation, I couldn't find this online, but I think if you when they audition, the kids audition for the Nativity. I have a feeling they genuinely auditioned for the Nativity. So the kids were cast by the casting directors for the film or whatever, but then I would not be surprised if those auditions mildly on a foundation level did actually happen, in the sense that kids would have been told you're coming in for an audition or whatever, think of something you're good at, or think something you'd like to share with the rest of the cast. Come on to stage.
That is my favourite one. it's so good.
I think he played. Who does he end up playing? He's one of the two kids that initially isn't allowed to be in it because of their behaviour, and then he for his audition he just blows his face up, and that felt for me like improv, because Martin's reaction seemed so genuine when he was like, "Be careful."
That kid depicts so many kids in primary schools. He looks. I feel like I've taught him. Before. So years ago I was on a theatre and education tour, so I'd go to all these different primary schools, and year 5s and 6 were a certain year that we sort of go and see. And there's always that kid who's just he's short, he's got spiky hair, he's got brown spiky hair, he's got a bit of an attitude to him, but the teacher really loves him because he's a bit of a joker. He's all right, really. He's a good lad. When you get him to do stuff, he does it, but he's got a bit of a mean streak, but he also wants all the parts, he wants all the opportunities as everybody else, and gets away with it. And I feel like there is that kid in every school. The eat or kid for me. It was the kid that just shouted eat or for me. It just always makes me laugh.
There's always got to be Bob, by the way. Big shout. Absolutely love Bob. Bob has always been my favourite. He's insane, and he was because him in particular, he's brought back for future Nativity films.
He is, amongst a few more, I think.
Yeah. And I think a few of them, weren't it? But he was brought in, and he, I wasn't shocked at all, because I think people instantly loved him, and I can imagine he was exactly like that when he auditioned for the.
Yeah, I'd love to think that like you say, that moment was their audition. We watched their audition. Because again, the casting of these kids are brilliantly done as well. So good.
Another thing with that is I forgot to add earlier what I found out. So none of the kids in this film have ever acted before. So this is their first, nice. So they cast children in a local area to be part of this film. So, and that's why even more, I think, they wouldn't have they wouldn't know their acting ability because the kids didn't know what they could do. So I think that's why even more for me, it feels like those auditions genuinely are a layer of truth to them.
Again, and that adds to the charm of this movie. There is something beautifully authentic about these kids and as well when it gets to their performance, and you see their journey from the rehearsals of their coming up with the nativity, rehearsing through it. They're being told they're going to Hollywood. They then get let down that they're not going to Hollywood. The show gets cancelled, and they end up doing it and again the show at the end is spectacular, but it's done in a way where again it just can't. It shows. It doesn't go, look how flipping amazingly talented these kids are. I'm not saying they're not, they absolutely are. But like in their own way, there's this authenticity. There's this kind of like, you feel like you're sat there in the, I know it's done in a cathedral, but like in a school hall effectively, you feel like you're sat there watching a school play, right? They still have that school play element. To sort of compare and contrast this, I don't know if you've just recently seen it, but I recently went and saw Matilda the musical movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
Incredible, right? And it is a brilliantly put together movie, and it is done really well, and it holds similarities in terms of like celebrating British culture. There's something very British about Matilda, in its own story and the way it's been sold as well. But like, what's different is that you've got these hugely gifted, talented children, young people in Matilda that do this show like in ways no adult professional probably ever could, right? Yeah. They deliver performances and sequences where you're like, what? These are kids. They're incredible, right? Yeah, but then you watch Nativity and you watch their show and you go, this is incredible, but it's also just human.
Yeah.
It's just really human and it's authentic, and you go, there is that kid that's going to be nervous that doesn't want to do it. It's important to show that because it's really natural and normal for kids to feel like that, because again, it's setting the expectations as well. That school knew what the expectations were. Martin Freeman's character is of those kids, and his expectations were extremely low. Yeah. And then throughout that movie, it gets higher and higher and higher and higher to the point they put this beautiful show together. And then when you look at things like, when you look at the casting in Matilda and the musical, and it's done so brilliantly, it's done so put together, there is a certain level of spectacle that you get in that product. With Nativity, that wholesomeness is the main part, main ingredient.
And I think it's always kind of children, when you have children as young, especially Nativity, I don't know if they're a little bit older in Matilda, are they? Or are they a little bit older or similar age?
I wonder, Matilda herself might be of that age.
Maybe. Okay. Oh, well. Because certainly in Nativity, I think we know as two guys that have had to done teaching, work with young people, that on set the issue, like there would have been difficulties with cast members like Martin Freeman having to deal with that many kids, right? They're all because naturally as a child you're not this is going to be, especially if they've never done a film before, it's going to be brand new territory. They're not going to understand to be quiet at a specific moment or allow certain things to play. They're not going to certain social constructs they won't be used to, and so I think you also immediately appreciate for a film like this the cast like Martin Freeman, like Mark, like who it must have been difficult to film for them and for the crew as well, right?
Yeah.
Because because you've also got to find a balance where you go, right, okay, kids, because to a certain degree they probably had to be a bit teacher-esque, right? They had to go, right, okay, guys, we're about to film a scene. Come on, everybody. But it can so easily go from kids having fun and showing that on camera to the filming has got very militant to a degree where the kids are just not, the kids don't really like what they're doing, and so it must be so difficult to do. So when you get it perfectly pitched, perfectly right, and then you can see how good that kind of relationship is in the film, it's just beautiful to watch. It's just great.
That kind of improvised nature and that kind of human and natural and wholesome and authentic stuff that we're talking about that Nativity brings reminds me of the kids in Outnumbered.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and again, that's so that's a comedy British series that ran sort of early mid 2000s noughties and sort of finished about 10 years ago now. But like, it was again those scenes with the children were always completely improvised, and in those moments you just got just brilliant bits of comedy, just human. Then play again. The best bits of comedy come from people doing things seriously and doing things straight, and it's exactly what those kids do. They're just doing the things that they think they should be saying in those moments, and that's where the best bits of comedy come from. And you get that in Nativity, that kind of candidness. It's so good.
And like the end, because this is the thing. I think with a film like this, you almost want someone from the crew on this podcast, because there's so many questions I'd love to ask. Like, so that final kind of the performance in the church, did they actually perform that in front of some of their real parents? Like, I can imagine they brought their parents along to be in the audience, and there would have been loads of extras from the local community that might have been family and friends of the kids, and so that performance is, you can imagine the kids actually would have been shitting themselves in the moment, because they would have been like, Christ, we're actually doing this in front of, even if it is part of a film, and for them it's, they're not gonna, it's the reality versus fiction isn't gonna matter to them, because essentially it's the same thing within that. They're still performing, and they're doing something. So it's brilliant, and I love like when they bring the candles on. So like moments that are obviously scripted, where the power goes out and they've got their candles that they go on with, and the three words ride on actual camels.
So good,
just genius. But yeah, no. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think, were there any kind of, what did you think of the story as a whole? I suppose, Matt. What did you think of the overall the story of it?
It is. I think it is It's a bit of a classic kind of like 7-beat story situation, but like you've got everything you need in a Christmas movie in it. Yeah. You've got the down and out teacher that's just lost his best friend, his partner. She's moved away, and he's a bit jaded. He doesn't like his job. He doesn't like his students, and now he's been thrown this nativity at him that he has to direct simply because he's got a performing arts degree, right? And he's like, I don't want to do it, and then that becomes his kind of redemption story, doesn't it? That's it. That's probably effectively what it is. This is a redemption story for the character. I think it's done really well. I think it's paced really well. I think none of it ever feels too long. Doesn't feel too short. I just feel like it kind of there are. I think there's moments maybe where you're just like, okay, it's a bit cheesy. There's a little bit of the cheese inside here, but it's fine. But you accept for what it is. It's a Christmas movie. You've got to have those kind of cheesy moments in there. And what I mean in an example is when he does the video DVD to send to Hollywood, and then the kids are like, please, Miss Thingy's girlfriend, he really misses you. Please come back to the UK. And you're just like, oh fuck you now. And like she's crying, and I'm like, she wouldn't cry. She's in Hollywood, mate. She's not thinking about you guys. Yeah, she's over it. Honestly.
That ties in quite nicely. Can I provide you my only gripe for this entire film?
You've got gripes in this movie. I thought we were going gripe free, my friend, for the next few weeks.
We are, but it's the only thing that stands out to me with this film. And
Yeah.
I can't I want to bring you in because it might help me with what the issue is. So Ashley Jensen, who plays Jennifer. Now, she is the American, or not, she's not American, but in America, girlfriend of, or ex-girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. For me, that character has always felt a little off in this film. And I don't know if it's Ashley's acting in it, or whether it's the writing of the character, or it's a blend of both. So what my issue is that all the kids film, Christmas film, all of the parts are, design. You've got to have caricatures, basically, right? So even if they're a villain, so you look at Alan Carr's part, who I think actually does a really great job of the, he's a reviewer, but he plays his part in a caricatured way. Same with Jason Watkins playing Gordon, right? Gordon Shakespeare, antagonist of the piece, if you will, but very exactly hilariously caricature, overly evil with the kids, but with Jennifer and Ashley playing Jennifer, it sometimes feels quite flat. So the scenes in America, it's like so I have to go right. So the point of her character is that this whole time Martin Freeman's character thinks that she's some a relative big shot, right, or some kind of producer in that world, right, where in actual fact she's just a PA or an admin assistant. Now, so with the writing of the film, you have to go, okay, well, she's got to have an element of Hollywood producer, a bit, straight-laced about her in order to convincingly portray that Martin's going to incorrectly think that she's a producer, right?
Yeah.
So that all kind of adds to it. But there is the caricature nature of a Christmas film, almost like a pantomime, right, just isn't there with it. So she plays it all ultra serious and also quite flat in nature, and it's just, I find it extremely jarring with any other character in the film.
Yes, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I don't know. Again, we didn't get enough of her. Really,
no.
There was not enough, and I don't think there was enough running time for that. It's the things like when he decides to go to Hollywood to meet her and to sell the show to Hollywood. And like her reaction to it, I find quite jarring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That whole, because in essence, she would only want to be supportive, right? So she would want to, she got nothing against kids, so she would want to be like, so for me, they missed the trick that the guy, she has to go to a real producer, doesn't she? She goes to a real producer at some point in the film and she's like, look, can we not do this? They're relying on us, blah, blah, blah. And he has to play the straight lace. No, we aren't, like, why would we be doing this? They're millions of miles, hundreds of miles away, blah, 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 blah. So it's, so he is playing the kind of the Gordon Shakespeare nasty, the bad cop, right? So why is she not good cop in all of this? Because actually she should have received the film and gone, oh yeah, oh my god, this would be amazing. Like, and she, in my view, if she's an admin or a PA, but she knows she's got the chance of trying to get a bit more, then she would want to be amping this up, and she would.
That's exactly this. I think that's probably where it goes a bit wrong in that scene, because, and what I find the issue with as well, because I can't remember, did the film go in terms of sending it to Hollywood? Did that go before them actually going to Hollywood? It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
So then surely she would have been, as a character, more sympathetic to literally seeing him and his two pupils turn up at their door to sell the show. Surely she'd be like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. I'm so sorry that you're here. But it doesn't have to be, I'm not saying that she had to kind of be like, oh my God, yeah, this has to happen. Blah, 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 blah. But like, equally, there needed to be some more sympathy, because you've just seen her cry to these kids on a screen a moment ago. But then she just kind of completely gives it the cold shoulder, and then decides to kind of subtly go to the producer, "Oh, can we make this happen, please?" I don't know.
For,
Those choices are weird.
for me, I would have preferred a character like, you mentioned Matilda earlier. Who is Matilda's teacher that she loves? Like, she's a really nice one.
Miss Honey.
Miss Honey. For me, her Jennifer should have been Miss Honey. That kind of energy, right? Full on about the kids. Well and truly would want to make this happen if she could. Because when we see the three of them at the beginning of the film, she is that. When you see Gordon, her, and like her other Martin Freeman's character, he's only got the way he has because she's out of his life. He's been doing the same thing for years and years and years. But so that's his reason for being like that. Jennifer has no real reason because essentially, if her job was I know because she's like, I'm only an admin, I've not got the job that I wanted to. She's always had the chance to come back, right?
Yeah.
Because all of her mates are over here. So she's always had the chance to come back. You can't never move back again. So I just felt it. I would have preferred her to be a nicer, like really nice and sweet character, so that the producer on her side was the bad cop. Because then, whereas she just seems to we can't really do this, and then like you say, but in the scenes where it's just her, she then goes, she's crying, she's pleading. It's just very. I'm not why.
Maybe these choices that they made, it was in order for it to still feel quite genuine and human. Because the moment we go into having like a big bad, an evil person that says no to these children, then all of a sudden that becomes a little bit less of a heartwarming story, more of a kind of like, a hero versus good versus evil kind of situation.
But not if she's playing Miss Honey and then convinces him. Because at the end would still happen, right? So she would have done her job at convincing the evil producer, right? It's in the same vein that I keep saying Martin Freeman rather than the character, but Paul Madden's, right?
Yeah.
In the same vein that Paul has made Alan Carr's evilness and Gordon's evilness gone because of the nice nature. So like Alan Carr, it's like he prefers private school, well-educated kids, but then he's seen what these young people are capable of who aren't from that background, and that's made him into a power of good, right? Gordon, power of good for a very similar reason. To be fair, he's seen the performance, he's seen what they're capable of, but into good, right? And then you would have had the same in America. You would have had a Miss Honey style Jennifer pleading with the bad producer, who would have gone, oh no, like why would we want to spend our time and money on that? And then he could have appeared again at the end and gone, oh yeah, actually no, this was a great idea, look at this, and maybe we got a little bit at the end of like they then sell the rights to the performance in America and it becomes big over there as well. So they could have done that as an additional.
Yeah, that's nice.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think I think there's undeniably choices I think they could have explored, but I think ultimately the choices that they made for the film were the best ones in my view. Just to keep that kind of wholesomeness to the movie, the main point, and the main thread. Can we talk about the performance at the end? Yeah. So partly as to why I really, really genuinely love the movie is that it leads to a climax where you're gonna see the thing that they've been working towards this whole movie at the end. You get that in loads of stories. It's most classically, you get that at Midsummer Night's Dream. It's literally a bit of Shakespeare, okay? Right? You get the mechanicals, they're working towards a play, and they do the play within the play at the end of Midsummer Night's Dream, right? This is literally what you get in Nativity. So they're quoting Shakespeare here. It's amazing. They're running
wildest comparison I've ever fucking heard of in my life. We'll carry on.
We'll carry on anyway.
Yeah.
You've got tummy ache. Okay, Bob. All right. Do you want to go upstairs for a second? Well, hold up. Pause. I've got to do dad duty.
All right. We'll see you in a second.
So the the show at the end resonates with me in a way from a teaching standpoint, because everything you're putting together completely weighs in this moment, and I think what you see is a really true depiction of the payoff and the genuine joy putting performances together can not only be for the kids involved, but the people that have put together it, and that might be the teachers, whoever it might be, and also the parents and the guardians, whoever are watching that. You see in that sequence every moment of joy that those people feel in those moments, and even the moments where it's nervous, where the kids are like, "Oh, I don't want to do it. I'm really nervous." You can do this, and they go out there and do it, and you get that sense of euphoria that you get when you watch shows. And I think, when people in this society that we live in, some of them don't believe that that's an important thing, right? People don't believe that putting on shows is really that much of an important development skill for kids. But when you watch it, and you watch this movie and you see that at the end, it's a really wonderful example of actually what it can do, not only for the kids, but for everybody involved. There is such a wonderful sense of joy that you get when you watch it. And I'll be honest, it didn't happen this time around because I was a little bit poorly when I watched it. But previous years, I've watched this movie and genuinely cried at the end. No, I'm not joking. Legit, because I know how they're feeling. Not even from a parent standpoint, but also as a teacher standpoint as well. You know that sense of joy and pride that you get, and it's props to the people that made this movie, because they managed to pull that off brilliantly in ways that I've never seen you watch there's loads of American movies out there that do like dance competitions. We've got a dance competition. We got to win the dance competition at the end. We're not going to win the dance, but they end up winning the dance competition, and it's just lovely. You get these wholesome kids and all whatnot, but at the end of it, it doesn't really depict truthfully what that means. It's not just the competition. It's not just the show. There's something multifaceted about doing shows when you're doing it for young people and children. It affects so many more people in different ways, in positive ways. So that's just what I wanted to add in terms of the pod.
100%, mate. I think there's so many songs in it that I don't know the lyrics to, but my favourite one is talk about. But
that's it. Do you know what I mean? The music.
And literally, he's going into the air.
Goodness.
In the goodness of talk about it. It's crazy good.
I love.
So
what is
good.
it? Is it the Stars? They turn into a boy band, don't they?
Yeah.
He's the brightest star that I have ever seen.
And they're like, brightest star, brightest star.
Like some kind of dream. It's just like
it's so good. I love, and it's the energy that the writers and Debbie has put into actually creating a performance. It would have been so easy to just and I know you don't see it from start to finish as such, but it would have been so easy to do 5 minutes and show 2 scenes of it, right?
And they could have just done it completely straight. They could have done a completely traditional Nazareth, They could have done it really boringly, but they actually genuinely recreated the vision of what is the Nativity in a way that's just so funny.
I really, really hope, and you feel like they would have done it. I really hope that some of those songs and some of the things in it were written by the kids as well, though.
Oh, you'd hope so.
I really hope it was part of the, and that actually they need to. I'd love to see more of the foot. If they've filmed, what did I say, 140 hours or something? I said
120. I think you said. Yeah.
I'd love to see like a massively extended version of it. Just maybe just the performance. Like if they just show like loads more of it and just like different bits they filmed, and
So good.
absolutely hilarious. I bet there's proper good blooper material out there as well.
I bet there's loads. Hours. It must be hours.
Blooper, just I think American audiences refer to it as outtakes.
Oh.
So
Yes, of course.
So just in case the blooper reel. I don't. Yeah, blooper reel, is that a British thing? I think a blooper.
I don't know actually. Bloopers, I think American.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yes. But yeah, blooper reel, outtakes, whatever you want to call it. I bet there's some absolute hilarious moments where kids have got, can I go to the toilet, please, Martin? In the middle of the scene. Oh, I'm all about that, mate. That kind of shit is. If I watch like any American sitcom, first thing I want to watch is the outtakes. Like,
yeah, literally.
The American Office outtakes are some of the most
they are the best
hilarious.
My favourite Office. This is off track, but my favourite Office outtake is with Jim and Dwight. It's the later ones where they go to the hotel and Dwight tries to fumigate the bed because there's cockroaches or something inside it, and he goes, "What do they look at? They're threatening." He goes, "Yeah, look so cocky or confident, like you walk like this," and he just ends up just fucking corpsing for about 10 minutes in that line. Oh my god, it's so good.
But quickly before we go off that, because it is a tangent, but when they go to Michael's place for a party, the house.
Oh my god,
there are so many outtakes for that. But the TV in the wall. He goes, Jim. Oh, that program is just honestly
triple for vasectomy. Snip snap.
You do not know what that does to a man.
It's so good. It's so good. But this film is good. And just before we kind of wrap up with this movie, mate, do you have any favourite performances? What's your favourite performance? Who shines like the North Star itself?
Sparkles and shines. I think Mark Watton is by far one of my favourite. I think Mr. Poppy is an absolute genius of a character. I think Pam Ferris is the headmaster. She's brilliant. She's got to get a mention. I think all of the main cast. Jason Watkins, absolutely insane as Gordon Shakespeare.
He's so good.
He's so fun. He's so fun. I think I've got to go for Mark Freeman, Paul Manners, but I've got to go for Mr. Poppy.
Yeah, mine's got to be Mr. Poppy as well. He just kind of drives the whole movie straightforward. His energy is unfathomable. Everybody's performance in it is flipping brilliant. It's brilliantly cast.
Have you ever seen Mark Wootton's BBC Three show?
No.
Early noughties, because I think it definitely predated this film. He has his own sketch show, and I'm sure it used to be on BBC Three, right? And you've got to go and watch it. There's one of the sketches is he recently got bitten by a bat. And he records a diary of his transformation into a vampire.
I mean, that's what we do in the shadows, isn't it?
Yeah, but in what we do in the shadows, they become actual vampires. Whereas he thinks he's becoming a vampire, but it's just like everyday shit. So he's like, I've just been bitten. I must be turning into, and he gets slightly coming off of garlic. So he's like, the transformation is bad to me, and he just crawls out and just scares people. You just need to watch. It's hilarious.
I got to check that out. That looks
fully
good.
Recommend that. It's all over YouTube. Fully recommend that. I've also seen that apparently there are some nativity bloopers on YouTube. They're actual nativity. There's someone's actual nativity that they've just made bloopers out of.
Oh god,
that's hilarious. No, Nativity 2 was the first film to have they actually did publish some out.
Could you imagine if somebody deleted it and went, "Do we need all this footage? Nah, just get rid of it. You know, this ain't going to be that much of a big movie." Delete.
No. But yeah, all in all, who was your... Oh yeah, you said Mr. Poppy, right? For you,
Mr. Poppy as well, yeah. But let's go for ratings. How many crisps? How are we filling this crisp packet out, my friend?
I think this is definitely one of my all-time favourite Christmas films. So it's a full bag of crisps for me, mate. Brilliant.
Is it?
Brilliant all round, mate.
Brimming out, mate.
Brimming out.
I love it. I think it's great. I think, full bag. It's got to be a full bag. It's got to. And you can't not give it a full bag. And if you're not giving it a full bag, I think you need to watch it a few times. And also, just check your heart rate, mate.
Sort yourself out.
Speech.
Have a word with yourself.
Have a word with yourself.
Take yourself out of the room. Just have a word with yourself.
Where's the Christmas spirit?
Get a coffee on and just go. You know what you question your life.
Exactly.
Question your fucking life.
So are you watching the movie everybody else is watching?
Yeah.
Do you not understand what these children are feeling?
Sort yourself.
Do you not like kids? Do you not like what kids are doing?
Get off this earth. This earth has got too many people as it is. So do a Scrooge and fuck off of it.
Anyway, it's great.
But Matt, we continue. Let's talk about what is the next 2 weeks looking like?
Well, my friend, we have got a wonderful little Christmas special coming out in a few days. Honestly, I can't wait for this. On Christmas Day, dear listener, we are going to upload a wonderful little episode of Muppets Christmas Carol of myself and Forrest talking about it. We're going to do some drinking games. We're going to have a jolly old time. So you can listen to this podcast while you're prepping your veg for your Christmas dinner. You could be listening to this podcast while you're having your little afternoon nap between times. That's absolutely fine. All right. But we're going to be putting this out and we cannot wait. It's going to be the ultimate Christmas pod, that's for sure. We need to, and I'm going to put this in the podcast, but it's also me having a Matt conversation outside of it at the same time. I want to see pictures of all of you cooking your Christmas films or whatever you're doing whilst you're listening to the podcast. So on Instagram, we'll do a little post that's... You send us your pictures. Nothing will fill me with more joy than knowing genuinely
people get to hear our little voices.
Well, this is the thing. This is the reason. We really don't have to upload a Christmas Day episode. You're getting one this week because obviously, unfortunately, last week we missed out. But this week you'll get 2 uploads a week. But the reason why we're doing it is because genuinely we are honestly really loving the interaction we're getting from this podcast. And having our dear listener, you person right now listening to this wonderful podcast, we really genuinely appreciate you listening this year and we want to give you as much and good content as possible. And we believe that if we give you some Christmas cheer on Christmas Day, we're doing our jobs, right? We're doing our jobs. So we can't wait for it, all right? I'm genuinely thrilled.
I can see it. I'm
so excited.
And to segue with the comment from Matt about this year, obviously we've started this in June.
I thought something like that. I think it was May.
And basically we will be doing, so after Christmas, in the interim, so on the Wednesday where we normally do our uploads, in the interim between Christmas and New Year, we're going to be doing a special highlights episode where me and Matt will be talking about our favourite highlights of 2022 and the podcast.
Yeah, so we will.
We'll be having a very festive couple of weeks. We look forward to you joining us. Do we want to have a chinwag quickly about the DC news, Matt?
I think we do. I think it needs to be addressed. So I I need to preface this with I am nervous. I'm really nervous about the future of DC and I'm hurt by it as well. And I can also empathise with those that have been hurt by the news breaking. But we've got I think exciting potentially exciting futures, but it depends on what James Gunn is going to announce to us. I know they're working towards a slate, but basically, Henry Cavill has been sacked as Superman not long after announcing from the studio that there will be a Man of Steel 2. And now, unfortunately, that carrot has been taken away and it's no longer happening. It's a shame we don't get Henry Cavill, I think, personally. And it's a shame that we don't get to see him suit up because, God, he's a good Superman. But equally, we don't have, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman either. I think the only one remaining out of the remaining Justice League is Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I think, Ben Affleck's gone. And Ezra Miller's very much still up at the air. Doubtful, hugely, that that's going to be happening going forward. So, yeah.
I think, I've seen a couple of things about Aquaman, though.
Right.
They don't think he'll be in it either.
Well, I wouldn't surprise me.
Because I think it was two things I saw. One, there's a photo. Problem is, and I think we should also preface this, apart from Henry Cavill that has been announced, there is so much information out there which is pure speculation.
Yeah.
And it is being treated as if it's absolute, nailed down information. James, they are currently in the middle of making the next slate. So I think it's quite unfair that mainly the Hollywood Reporter just keeps bringing out all of this complete information. I would prefer to just wait until James Gunn actually just comes out and goes, right, this is the deal, because we're also rushing it. So what's going to also happen is people will go, oh, well, this is shit, and it's because you fucking rushed it rather than just waiting to hear. But anyway, by the by, there's a picture which has Aquaman and on it, and it looks like a very, very different he's far less muscular, it just doesn't look like what's the actor's
Jason Momoa.
Jason doesn't look like Jason at all. Also, they reckon that Jason has already been in the same vein. So Henry Cavill, they have spoke to him about a different character in the DC universe moving on.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm fairly sure James Gunn said that within his tweets. Is that they're looking at another character?
I wouldn't. There's also those theories out there that James Gunn has done K-Dog a solid, like a true K-Dog allegiance move in potentially the fan casting of Captain Britain is obviously Henry Cavill in Marvel, and now he's thrown out of DC. K-Dog could potentially go, hey Henry, how you doing? My name's K-Dog. Here's an MCU. Here's an MCU contract for the next 25 years. Yeah. Which I don't protect. In all honesty, I wouldn't want to see Henry Cavill in the MCU. I'd rather go and see Henry Cavill go back and be Witcher, but that's not going to happen. But what we need to do, DC fans as well out there, we need to just bite our tongue. We need to just bite our tongue that we got what we got. And yes, fair enough, you might not have appreciated it at the time and really got the most out of it at the time, but you did get some decent Superman movies out of Henry Cavill. You did get some decent moments with Ben Affleck as an older Batman. Fair enough. You also got some really decent moments with Wonder Woman. I think for the first time it was actually depicted in a way that Wonder Woman should be. And yes, we got that, but we need to also just trust James Gunn.
Exactly. And also, DC, we've been talking for years about DC not being up there with Marvel, not having the kind of grand universe and the well thought out kind of multitude of films. You've got James Gunn, who has made arguably some of the finest superhero films of anyone, right? He knows what he's doing. He will absolutely be making this into a universe that's worth watching.
Of course he will.
By the sound of it, he wants to bring. he's bringing quite a few. I think he's going to bring in quite a few young actors to take these roles, so that they can really be like the next Tom Holland did Spider-Man. They want to be getting young people into these roles, so that we can create a universe. And yes, 100%, he's had conversations with K-Dog. I don't necessarily think it's about him having a conversation so that K-Dog can get actors into his slate. I think what it is more about is that over time, DC and Marvel will join.
It will happen. We will get there. And I think this kind of reboot, it must be a reboot. We don't know what the slate is, but it must be a reboot. The reboot that we'll be getting with DC is happening at the right time, because Marvel is going through a new phase as well. Marvel's going through a new collection of movies and assigning new Avengers and threading new stories. So this is, if there ever was a time to quickly, all right, we need to set some ground rules here, and we need to quickly just set that reset button. Now's the time to do it. So, just fingers crossed it's all in safe hands. I don't know it is. I love James Gunn. So do you know what the biggest big dick energy move from James Gunn would be? Yeah. Right now, could you imagine? So next year we've got Guardians 3 coming out. Yeah.
Could you imagine the post-credit scene is a DC character? Imagine he just slings a young Bruce Wayne, just emerges in the shadows, and then it cuts out and it just goes, James Gunn opens DCEU. Cuts off. Boom. Fire.
I wouldn't put it past him.
No. It would. I don't think it would ever
get in trouble.
It wouldn't be as blunt as that. But what he certainly could do is feature, have like, when you get cameos there could absolutely be certain cameos in that film from characters that we're going to actually see in James Gunn's other DC world.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
That would be that would be. Oh my god. It would be genius. It would be insane. Yeah, that would be one hell of an agreement.
It really would.
If he speaks to Kano and goes, right, can we do some last minute filming for Guardians 3? And they've got a couple of things I want to add. It's just fucking randomly. Oh my god, it'd be insane.
Oh, so good.
Jeez.
Cool. Right, well, my Forrest, my dear Forrest. You go find yourself a better Christmas hat.
Oh, I will try and do this, but it's been.
I'm absolutely getting my elf outfit.
Oh,
my elf outfit for Muppets Christmas Carol. It's going on, mate. It's going on.
Yes, I can't wait for Muppets. I'm glad to hear your voice again, Matt.
It's lovely to hear yours.
I'm so excited to see your face again. And here's to a great Christmas, mate. Have a lovely Christmas.
And you, my friend. All right, dear listener, thank you so much, because you just go out and you better go and sparkle and shine. Planets gather round, sparkle and shine. Gonna sing a dance all night. It's something you won't believe that we got it on a Christmas Eve. Yeah.